Good afternoon, Black women. I just wanted to bring a couple of things to your attention. And before I get into the live, I wanted to tell you guys to make sure that for Black women who are really interested in the West 4B movement and actually participating in whatever way you feel you need to in your own life with either one or all of the 4Bs, please make sure you watch today the West 4B movement live that is actually on right now as I'm doing this live. You could either come back and check my live out later or watch the West 4B later or watch both later. But Black women, please watch it. Hi, Juanita. Okay, so today I came to warn Black women again about another societal threat that is out here that I think we take for granted. And this societal threat is used against us all the time, which is why many white strategists and white people, period, throughout America, whatever title they hold, that speak on social media platforms, news platforms, etc., always refer to Black people as being the most influenced by social media, celebrity, and etc. Well, there's a reason for that, right? And the two reasons for that are collective consciousness and also collective hypnosis. Now, both of those things are a military form of kind of like psyops, where scientists study trying to either use mass collectives of people to get them all to behave the same way, think the same way, or have the same outcome, even if their thinking is just a little bit different. And we do see that sometimes in the Black community when it comes to social media. And this is the things we see on videos where Black women are trying to convince other Black women that marriage is the fundamental goal you must shoot for, or that the nuclear 2-parent home is what you should be doing. These are examples, right? Then there are also the other extremes, right? Because it goes both ways. It goes collectively thinking towards the positive, which is what we as Black women want to do, right? Or it is collectively towards the negative. That is usually always harmful to us, like the two examples I just gave. And also all the videos you've ever seen about Black males, white males, or others constantly dehumanizing Black women, talking about our reputation, our character, our sexual prowess, etc., right? These are the things. Now, in this video, I want to show you or introduce to you a documentary I actually want you to take the time and watch on Netflix. This documentary literally gives you the entire background of how America has used these tricks of mind control and mass control for about, this started like in the 1960s, so over 50 years, right, of them literally targeting Black people and trying to get them to do exactly what they want them to do for the benefit of whites, and the continued disenfranchisement of Black people. Now, right now, they're doing this right in front of our eyes, which is why I felt like I had to do this video to explain to y'all the things they do to us. They're doing this with the whole Donald Trump campaign. Just yesterday, I watched a video on, and if you're not subscribed to her, please go subscribe, Politics by Tabitha. And she did a video about this rally that was held by white Trumpians and a very small amount of Black Trumpians in, I think, a Bronx church. And the thing was, she showed 3 angles of the camera to give you a different advantage point to let you see that what they are telling you about the amount of Black people supporting Donald Trump is all a lie. When they're telling you in the news that Donald Trump is leading in the polls and more Black people are voting for him now more than ever, it is a lie. And it is a lie because these are the things they do with collective hypnosis, collective consciousness, and many other psyops sciences that they can inflict upon society or a particular group of people, and right now that group of people is Black people, that they want their behavior to result in a certain way. They want us to vote for this dude. They want this dude to get in office so that he can implement all of the things that are horribly dangerous and rights taking away from Black people in that project2025.org. Now, I know no one had, not even me, has read a 900 and something page manifest of how this racist white Klans member, Donald Trump, wants to change the government entirely, right? Take away women's rights, take away Black people's right to vote, keep Black women from going to school, because right now we are the number one group in the entire country out of everybody's race who is excelling past everyone else at this time. So they need that to stop, because when I go through this video, I'm going to show you an interview of Dr. Umar with Aristotle, right? And this Black guy, Aristotle, he only has one claim to fame that is something that you can like big up or give an appreciation for, which is his talent of doing very well in the stock market. Outside of that, he has nothing else to contribute to mankind, and especially the African American woman or Black women in general, right? He has one of these mentalities of being very egotistical, narcissistic, and thinking that the amount of money that he has increases his value as a human being, and literally, I guess, takes him from being a regular nigga to the house nigga that white people want to now rub elbows with and think he's better than the rest of us. That's the type of person this dude is. He made it very clear. This is another reason why I want to point these things out to Black women, is that every time without fail, no matter who these dudes are and how they come into their money, they feel it necessary to always leave out and forget about Black women and girls 100%. Even with this guy, this is the situation. Now, he is a new millionaire who came into his money by way of investing, which is why Black women, I'm going to urge you to take advantage of all of the investing tools and just information out there for you to learn how to invest, for you to have the quickest way to increase your wealth, right? So this particular guy, and I will put him up so you can see the things about his channel and show you where you could learn the things that he's given to Black males for yourself to take advantage of it. But what I want you to realize is that it never penetrates their brains, whether they're as intelligent as Dr. Umar or as dumb as this kid that is now a millionaire, that you are never going to be anywhere as a Black male if you do not bring the whole Black community with you. That means Black male, women, and children. Hello, Danielle. You cannot just have a group of Black dudes thinking that once they have arrived or they've accomplished whatever it is they think that they need to accomplish to be on the same status level as white men, it's over. They don't need to work any harder, or they don't need to do any more. Black people are, in their mind now, equivalent to whites. Never true. So in your spare time, if you want to look at the whole video, it would do you some good to really see how these people think, and to show you that we Black women are really, really on our own, and that all they ever think about when it comes to us is us being like somebody to fuck on, always thinking that we're supposed to be in some level of servitude or inferiority towards them. And this is what he was promoting on this video. So I'm gonna start right with the fact that, what should I start with? I'm trying to think. All right, I'm gonna start with, you have currently what we need now going on is this West 4B movement. And if those of you don't know, the live is going on right now. So I will not be insulted if you leave me to go see that, to hear what they're talking about, because that is very important. And I appreciate if you share, mention by word of mouth everything about West 4B to every Black woman you can find, because Black women, we really need our own like Black women revolution in this country, because there are nobody out here thinking about our well-being and trying to get us to be able to be completely self-reliant, meaning where we get to the point where we could get our own lots of money together to buy a lot of the towns in this country that are up for sale. So Black women could be there by themselves, growing and doing whatever they got to do to take care of each other. Because we're basically just being left behind everywhere else intentionally, because people are blocking us out of real equity and economics. So I just want to talk over something real quickly about the Fair Fund decision by the judge. Now, that decision didn't have anything to do with race. It didn't have to do with what those women were trying to do for other Black women. They actually caught the Black woman on a technicality in regards to how she was running her company in a glitch in the law with contracting. So if she basically, and this is just my opinion, because I know she's going to appeal it, because I definitely would too. I don't know, those of you that saw her video from she went to the Ghana Castle of and went on the road of no return, the Sankofa Castle, right? And she did a video there about how America owes Black women their dignity and their right to reparations and their right to economic empowerment, just like everyone else. And we should not have to get empowerment by way of underneath a man or underneath the government or anything else. We should be allowed to have free enterprise and access to capital like everyone else here. So she did that, appealing that cry to President Biden, Vice President, all of Congress, Senate, everyone. We'll see what happens. But I do know if I was her, which I know she is, she will appeal what they have done, because she could actually go back to the actual, 1866 Civil Rights Act that they're actually trying to mess with her about. And there are some different things in there that she can use to win. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure her people already know that. So it's just a matter of time. Because everything in this country is about timing. So right now, because there is an election coming up in November, they could not possibly allow her to win that case, because it would piss off all the other groups of people in America who are so very much anti-Black and anti-Black women. They will allow Black males to do everything, but this whole world seems to feel like we are always supposed to still be the mules of the world in society. And this is where we have to come together and really, really separate ourselves from Black males and declare our own independence and our own right to freedom and right to equality and free economics in this country, because no one's trying to give it to us. They throw disrespect in our face like every day. Just the other day, the last 3 survivors of the Tulsa massacre their case was thrown out of court. So they cannot get any reparations for that case, and they won't even get acknowledged for the fact that white mobs of people just decided one day to kill all the Black people they could, because they just didn't like Black people. And the people who survived it rebuilt their town and continued to live through that massacre. They were doubly insulted because this government feels like they never want to respect or owe Black people anything but degradation, poverty, and forever enslavement without chains on our bodies. So I want y'all to think about all these things today. I have to calm down because I'm a little upset, because after watching this interview, I just get like more and more enraged all the time with why Black women just don't ultimately walk away from everything that involves being in any way related to Black males, because they're always throwing us under the bus, and they're always trying to use us for their benefit, and never coming from a place in life where they feel like they have any responsibility towards us or the children that they sire with us. So it's like I just get so disgusted with them and cannot stand them. It's crazy. And every time I see videos like this, or I hear this Umar talking about radical feminism, it really makes me mad, because it always reinforces my understanding that he never wants to see Black women in a position where we really don't need them. And I don't mean like just need them personally. You don't want them motherfuckers in your house. You don't want them around you. No. I mean, we don't need them, period. Like, we don't need them for a political stance. We don't need them for our further future endeavors or to be economically empowered. We just don't need them. They're always trying to block that, where they're always somehow tethered to us in a way that stunts our growth and stunts our humanity. So in saying that, I just want to start with this. I want to start with exposing to you the fact that when you come on YouTube, and the reason Black women are always being thrown under the bus and dehumanized with video after video about how we are the most promiscuous, we're the worst mothers, we're the most hoish, we're everything they say bad about us, bad attitude, we stink, we this, we that. None of this is true. But this needs to be put out there so that we are always the one and only group of people in this country who are forever locked out of enfranchisement. And this is done through a military tactic. So let me show y'all what I'm talking about. And like I said, I want you guys to don't just take my word for it. When you finish listening to me and watching me, instead of watching the silly shit that we repeatedly watch on here, like Shira, Princella, Tanya, Bourbon Bougie, all the rest of these fucking people that actually do nothing at all about uplifting Black women, but they're constantly only talking to you about fucking relationships. Step outside of those douchebags for a minute and actually go look into things that actually work in society to keep you brain dead and low functioning, so that you never can afford a home, never will be on the road to generational wealth, or be able to have tons of organizations like the Fear Fund to give you the money you need to start whatever business it is in your community, where we could get back to the place in this country where, did you guys know in history that hospitals in America? Because back then, we were not allowed to go to white hospitals. So there was a point where we really had systems, grocery stores, all that type of stuff, electricity, water, sewage works, all of that. We had it in those cities. So these are the things that they want you to never be able to get to again at this point of 2024 going forward. And never forget the predictions that they have for us for 2030 and 2050. These are the things that you should be racing against the clock for, which is why we need to pull ourselves away from the whole country and our counterparts as a small group of people doing their own thing, going literally their own way. Because if we don't, we will not survive, because we have everybody trying to snuff us out, literally. You have, in my opinion, Black males who have been overly affected by collective consciousness and collective hypnosis, killing Black women every 4 to 5 hours of the day, right? Feeling as if they have this grandiose ego that makes them like a super narcissist, where they have all of these personality disorders, where Black women are always focused on and looked at as the problem for everything that's wrong with them, literally, and with society that they get or they have to deal with in society because of who they are. And never once do they ever remember or think about the fact that we are Black too. And we suffer the same indignities and traumas and situations that they do, more so because we are women on top of everything else. So in addition to our blackness, we are also looked at as further inferior to them because we are women. And according to society, we pose no threat whatsoever. So therefore, we have no significance to them. So these things are the things I really want y'all to start thinking about and really throw away all this shit about relationships and stop patronizing and going to these dudes' channels. Stop participating in all this shit, whether it's women or guys talking about relationships. If these people are not talking about money, if they're not talking about jobs, and they're not talking about housing or us standing together to get political justice for ourselves, where we start forming political committees or grassroots programs where we have small caucuses where we come together to go out and demonstrate and or to collect in number petitions for votes for this or that work on Black women and girls' behalf. You don't need to be listening to none of this shit any of these people are saying, because they are wasting your fucking time. They literally are. So for all the haters in the room and all the asshole Black males who I know are in the fucking clouds and in my video that I don't welcome, we want to start with radical feminism. And we want to hear the Black women who are speaking about how these things affect Black women talk to us about what radical feminism actually is, and not the stereotypes that are thrown around on YouTube or the ignorance that comes out of Dr. Umar's mouth, but what it actually means by the people who have lived it and who have contributed to its existence. So let's begin with that. All right. And I don't want to stay long. I just had to get all this heat off of my fucking chest because it was really getting on my nerves how people just feel like we're supposed to be everybody's fucking resource and safety net, but we're never supposed to have anybody we can be able to go to help us get all of our dreams and goals or whatever it is we want in life. We are not here to eat shit from everyone else and never have any happiness in our lives while we're here. I'm here to tell you, Black women today are saying, fuck you and all the rest of you that think that way. We're not going out like that. Not at fucking all.
All of the guys in the house, whenever you're in a conversation with your male friends and you hear them making comments about women that you know are wrong, that you know are dripping with misogyny, don't let it go. Just because no women are in the room, don't let it go. You know, feminism doesn't have to have a gender.
Professor Angela Davis. Through her activism and scholarship over many decades, Angela Davis has been deeply involved in movements for social justice around the world. Her work as an educator, both at the university level and in the larger public sphere, has always emphasized the importance of building communities of struggle for economic, racial, and gender justice. Ms. Davis is a founding member of Critical Resistance, a national organization dedicated to the dismantling of the prison industrial complex. Internationally, she is affiliated with Sisters Inside, an abolitionist organization based in Queensland, Australia, that works in solidarity with women in prison. Like many educators, Professor Davis is especially concerned with the general tendency to devote more resources and attention to the prison system than to educational institutions. Having helped to popularize the notion of a, quote, prison industrial complex, quote, she now urges her audiences to think seriously about the future possibility of a world without prisons.
All right, I'm going to stop it there because she's hiding behind them and I want her to come out. But, okay, 1 second. But what I want y'all to understand is that the reason that Angela is a radical feminist is because even though I'm sitting here and I'm telling you today, Black women, we need to move away from black males, right? As a collective community. We need to be doing our own thing and caring about our children only, because they're dead to us. They're lost to us. They do not give a shit about us. They only care about assimilating into white America. That is their only fucking objective. So anyway, what Angela talks about is tearing down those building blocks that allow those fucking idiots to get like that. So when she does this work on prisons and breaking down the prison industry and the fucking chokehold it has on the black community, because nowadays they're incarcerating just as many black women and young girls as they are these ridiculous ass black males. So, and you know that they make lots of money off of us when we're in there. So this is an industry that they have expanded to, like private prisons, super max prisons, prisons that are international. They have turned this shit into like a monopoly game of fucking prison. So anyway, when she's talking about these things, right, she's speaking about how it affects the everyday woman and how the things in society that we are never given access to, how these systems, and prison is just one of them, is always one of the obstacle blocks in black women's way to be able to actually live life like every other woman in this country, whether they are a citizen or not. Because I don't know how many of you know that there is international law, right? Where if you have, like, you see how you have the migrants here in New York and etc., there is a code of law, a code of conduct to protect people who are not from your country that live and reside in your country. So you have to understand, in me telling you this, that because black women are not real citizens of America, even though I know all that shit about the amendments, the Constitution speaks loudly for itself. We are still considered 3/5 of people. Okay? So we are not protected under any of those laws. So therefore, people never give us the respect that we deserve as black women. And they tend to always overlook us and think that if they give the black male an extra crumb or two, he's expected to do the right thing by his women or his children, which we know and they know as well. He will never fucking do. So it is important to understand that in tearing down these industries by boycotting, not participating in these things that help make them money, to live your life where you are never involved with people that bring that type of environment or those situations into your life where you now become a pawn for these people to make money off of you, is what she's always talking about. And that is radical feminism. And because it often excludes the black male from the household and from black women and children, because they bring that into our lives, they bring that shit into our households, because they love being fucking worldly. They love being wrapped up in the bullshit of white America, white dude and white women. They love it. They can't fucking get enough of ignorant ass white America. And we black women who have always been a more people involved in our own solitude and our own solidarity amongst each other, we suffer the most from this shit. So let me stop talking about this now. Let me fast forward this a little bit to bring her out so that you hear her speak about it herself, okay? Because it's so real, it's not even funny. And the fact that Umar has such a problem with this, y'all should pay attention to, because in the other part that I'm going to show you with his particular video where he's talking to Aristotle has a program where he only has a program for little black boys. And remember, Umar school's only for little black boys too. So do you see how they always have this scheme or this way of navigating America where it is always the boys club and these black males that want to be part of the good old boys white male club and always leave the black women to the side? Instead of all of these people having these programs where black people can take advantage of these programs where black little girls and little boys go to the same school to learn the same pride in blackness, the same principles of being children and then young men and women who have a huge character and huge amount of personal integrity about how they go forward in this life and not cowering to white people, riches, and influence. They only think about themselves, and they always leave us out on the side as if we are not as good, or we're not to be considered, or we're not black as well. And when we as black women decide to say, if you're gonna fucking always leave us out of the equation and feel like we're not entitled to anything but only you are, then we will take the stand of fuck you. We will not even give birth to you any longer, so you can eventually disappear off the face of this fucking earth the way you should, for your level of disrespect, your level of treason, and fucking dehumanization to black women and girls. It is ridiculous the type of shit that they do and that they always play along with this country, to the destruction and always the undermining and maintaining black women and girls in a status of fucking being second-class citizens and underprivileged. And I am, for one, so fucking tired of them with this shit. I really am. But let Ms. Davis speak.
To participate in this lecture series on, I don't know whether it's on notable women, and that should be, well, I will be talking about some notable women. I'm not sure whether the Boston Public Library has adopted an official territorial acknowledgement naming the indigenous people on whose traditional land we gather. And perhaps someone in the audience knows, would it be the Massachusetts or the Wampanoag? Both, okay. Thank you. Well, I think increasingly in North America, or at least in Canada, institutions are developing official territorial acknowledgements, so that whenever people gather, as we have gathered this evening, even for a few hours, there is an acknowledgement of the indigenous people whose land enables us to come together, and an acknowledgement of the genocidal violence that facilitated the colonization of this place and this area of the world.
Just want to point out one thing, right? That a lot of people never mention when they talk about indigenous people to America. Now, there are black people that really don't know a lot about their history. So, okay, I will share that video on my community page about the African scholar, explaining that the way things have been taught to us in America is not true. The majority of it is not. Native Americans are not the first inhabitants and the original people of America. It is Africans who are the original people of America. Way back in 900 something, right? I guess is BC, whatever, however they do that. I don't really know, right? But before Columbus, and even before that, there were like 3 different periods in time where Africans from the Mali Empire were residing in America, doing trade with the Mayans, and going back and forth from Africa to America constantly. And if you ever take anthropology, you will see the different artifacts they have found that predate every amount of history you have ever learned. And it will show you that even before the Mayans and before anybody else that was there before them, Africans were always either living here, trading here, or coming back here. So in this portion of what she's talking about modern day territory after things like the Dawes Act, Manifest Destiny, and different treaties with America, where Native Americans at the time had went through all of their wars with the white man trying to colonize this land, had already killed off most of the Africans that were here, ran them into Mexico, or even as far as Cuba and Haiti and etc., because that's all part of American history as well. The things I speak about, I will put up the video, but if you wanted to read about this, they're in many books. They came before Columbus, and if you just say, put in, they came before Columbus, books like this, all the rest of the books will pop up. But if you actually make it a practice to read from the historians from Africa, Asia, etc., you will learn that the majority of the history that you're taught in America is either backwards, the times are not dated correctly, or there are several people that were involved in the same situation that were left out that does not tell the full story. So I'm gonna go back to her and try to move her along, because the only thing I don't like about her is that she too, in a way, is very whitewashed, and whenever she speaks, it takes her forever to get to the point about Black women. It seems like to me she always feels inclined to apologize and include everybody else before she gets to the main point. And I guess that's a way of softening people up to dealing with the fact that they don't treat us the right way and we deserve more. But I really get tired of waiting for people to get to the point. So I'm gonna just speed up just a bit.
After that she would have to march with the Black section and not with her city, not with the women from Chicago, Illinois. Of course, she ignored the admonition. Yeah? It was assumed that if women got the vote, things would change. But white women got the vote in 1920, and they voted no differently than white men. In fact, we cannot really say in good conscience that women got the vote in 1920.
They did.
Even though I know that's what we're
only
celebrating.
White women did.
Today, yeah. Most Black women did not secure the right to vote until the passage of the Voting Rights Act in 1965.
Yep.
So we can say white women got the vote in 1920, but women got the vote in 1965, because that, broadened the population of females who could vote.
And I just want to clarify, right? The woman she was talking about was the ridiculous bitch Susan B. Anthony, okay? And just to let all other women know, who see this video, that when white women got the right to vote, that did not include Hispanics. It did not include Asians. It did not include Southeastern Europeans, because back then they were considered niggers like the rest of us. They didn't like the Irish. They didn't like the Italian. They didn't like the Jews. They didn't like anybody from Southeastern Europe. And that includes the Romanians, Yugoslav, everybody that was not considered a Anglo-Saxon Protestant, a WASP. Okay. So be clear on that, because I know today I've seen so many videos of Asian people really believing that they're white, talking shit about the fact that Black women are the most educated and credentialed group in America currently. They have such a problem with that because they like to think that they're smarter than everybody else, when we know they're definitely fucking not. Those of us that have gone to school with them, lived with them, etc., they're not. Okay. So anyway, they may be good at studying and retaining information to prepare for a test, but application and actually applying that in everyday life and using your brain to process information and think the way you're supposed to are two different motherfucking animals. And Black people got the lock on that shit, because we could be the dumbest motherfucker in the world and never have graduated from school, but we will invent some shit out of necessity that no one else can explain, but understand how that shit works for us to get it done. So no. They have a problem with everything, and they like to think that they're not the people these white folks are talking about when they say collectively women. When they say women, they mean everybody else that's lumped in with Black women who are not officially a WASP white woman. So I'm gonna just play a little more of her and go forward, because like I said, she is so fucking long-winded. It is crazy. I feel sorry for the people who had to take class with her in California, because you be there for hours waiting for her to get to the point.
But as the prison population rose during the decades of the 1980s and 1990s, increasing numbers of people, those who were incarcerated and those formerly incarcerated, including women, were deprived of the right to vote. So that would be another lecture that would allow us to explore felony disenfranchisement and the election of people like George W. Bush and what is his name? I heard Rashida Tlaib refer to him as the occupant. The point I'm making is that any feminism that will help us transform the world today must be capable of including perspectives that challenge white supremacy, heteropatriarchy, capitalism, the prison industrial complex, attacks on the environment, militarism, and war. So I want us to think creatively about the past, about past feminist developments, especially those that were not necessarily acknowledged as feminists at the time, because they took place within the context of Black movements and Black activisms. Read, this is a library, so this is a wonderful Boston Public, newly.
Okay, guys, sorry, you know that because this is probably copyrighted. It is copyrighted. I see it at the bottom. I gotta stop every now and then, so I'm not really flagged by YouTube, which I probably am gonna get a copyright for it. But I just want to point out what she's getting ready to go into, right? Is all of the different things that happen to Black women as a result of suffrage movement concluding, the 19th Amendment being passed, and the things that affected Black women when they began to vote, and began the civil rights movement, where they had to literally forcefully try to enforce their right to vote through getting beat down, fighting back, creating political organizations, growing segregated school systems, housing, etc., to be an actual force to be reckoned with in this country. Things that we don't even fucking do to this day. Today we roll over and play dead because none of us have the courage that these people had back then. So I'm gonna let her talk now.
Renovated Boston Public Library. Yeah. So I decided that I would try to incorporate references to books in my talk this afternoon. So the first one is Beverly Guy Sheftall's anthology, Words of Fire, that takes us from Mariah Stewart's interventions in 1831 to discussions regarding Black women in the academy in the 21st century. I want to actually focus this evening on literature and music and on the ways in which the cultural climate enables the emergence of feminist consciousness, how art, specifically literature and music, transform popular consciousness in a way that can powerfully shift ideological notions of what constitutes normalcy. And perhaps I should begin by acknowledging the role that libraries and books have played in the production of feminism. I'm thinking about the fact that Toni Morrison worked in libraries when she was a young girl, and I believe throughout her high school years. There's a beautiful documentary about her life and work that is entitled The Pieces That I Am, directed by Timothy Greenfield.
Okay, I have to stop again because of the copyright, but I want to bring this to your attention during this time, right? She's talking about the 1920s, 1930s, and onward. During those times, Black women mostly professionally had about 2 or 3 professions they were allowed to literally work in, whether they were married or not. Being a teacher, being a librarian, and the other one was like in the medical field, but really not being a nurse. I guess it would be equivalent to what we call today like a medical assistant, basically a medical secretary, right? And I'm sorry, the fourth one would have been just a secretary anywhere, because that was always respectable and allowed because it was a subjugated title underneath men, and men were always allowed to take advantage of women in those positions. So she's getting ready to go into this, but what I want y'all to listen to, and I hope she talks faster and gets to the point where she's talking about the movement that started mentally in Black women, and then the physical tangible thing that came out into society where Black women were like, you know what, no one's going to do this for us, so we're going to start doing it for ourselves. And that is the theme of this video that I'm doing today, because I really need y'all to understand that we are really on our own. No one is looking to take care of us in any way. We know Black femicide is running off the rails. Black women homelessness, Black women incarceration rates, Black women human trafficking, and Black women, it's summertime, and every minute going forward, hold on to your little girls, know where they are. Do not let anybody new or strange or even that or familiar accompany them or carry them anywhere, because children are going to start going missing again a lot. Because whenever you have a situation where crime increases, or if crime, it's kind of funny, like it's like this. Crime is going to always be an issue when people don't have jobs, but Black women, be clear. In our communities, these low-life Black males don't have to be drug dealers anymore, because they don't have to sell 100 products to move in a day to make money. They could sell about 5 or 6 little girls and women and make over $1 million fucking dollars. Be real clear on that. So this is why when I say we have to start doing shit for ourselves and protecting ourselves, you got to understand the whole fucking 360 degrees of what I'm talking about. I'm not just talking about securing our economics and being able to take care of ourselves, our households, and our children every day. I'm talking about making sure that your daughters are kept away from dudes that want to baby trap them, abuse them, beat them, kill them, take them somewhere where we will never see them again. We want to protect them to the point where they can be somebody's grandmother one day and talk about how great their childhood was and how strong their mother and the group of Black women around them fortified them and kept them safe among these really fucked up times we're about to go into. Like, they're not just setting you up right now with all of this Project 2025 bullshit and Black people at the bottom and white people on top for nothing. They intend to really have a lot of crazy stuff coming in the years to come before 2050 gets here. So you have to have the same mindset and give back the same fucking energy and tenacity in protecting yours and getting yours in this society. And we ain't got no time for Black dudes that are not trying to under fucking stand that about Black women. We don't have time for these relationships and worrying about how they feel about shit and wanting to be with, fuck them. You have really you got to take care of yourself and every Black woman that is like you, because they see these videos we make. They watch those numbers that y'all are always calling receipts and etc. They watch the demographics. They see Black women are not giving a fuck about a lot of this shit they're putting out here for you to be trapped by collective hypnosis, collective consciousness. They see you not falling for it. So when they see that, they have to come at you with something stronger. So you got to be aware of that, and you got to start preparing for it.
This documentary will be released next month. I urge you to see it. It's very, very beautiful, including much visual art. And speaking of Toni Morrison, And I'll tell you why I'm making this connection in a moment. Black feminisms, as they emerged in the 1970s and 1980s, were greatly influenced by literary developments. The publication of numbers of Black women writers, Alice Walker's Color Purple, for example, Ntozake Shange's For Colored Girls Who Have considered suicide when the rainbow is enough. Gloria Naylor's The Women of Brewster Place, Toni Cade Bambara's The Salt Eaters, and Toni Morrison's Beloved. Also during that period, Barbara Christian, the literary scholar, wrote two books, one called Black Women Novelists, published in 1980, and Black Feminist Criticism, published in 1985. During that period, also, Mary Helen Washington published several collections of Black women's stories, Any Women's Blues, Black-Eyed Susans, Midnight Birds. And then, of course, there was June Jordan's Living Room and Audre Lorde's Sister Outsider. Now, this is the connection with Toni Morrison. At that particular time in the 70s, up until the mid-80s, I think, she was an editor at Random House. And she first published Toni Cade Bambara. She published Toni.
Sorry, Black women. She's killing me. She's going too slow, right? All right. So what she's building up to that's taking all day is the fact that as these different women writers were being published, more Black women's experiences were being exposed to society. They even go into how Zora Neale Hurston did this whole episode on my actual practice from where I'm from is the hoodoo religion, and how the differences in voodoo and voodoo and all of these things that come out of slavery and Black women pretty much gatekeeping and safeguarding Black women's spiritual sanctity, their respect of their foremothers, and the need to be made whole in society. To feel like if I go to school, if I work hard and get this degree or I get this job, I need to be paid just like any male would be paid, or any foreigner, or any Hispanic woman, Asian woman, white woman, or whatever. That's what she's leading up to. Okay. So I'm going to put all of this below this video so that you could take your time and actually watch this whole entire speech that she's given. She talks about the documentary that came out of her work. That's also included in this if you want to take the time to see what is really meant by radical feminine movement or radical feminism. All it basically is in a nutshell is women, Black women, telling society, we're not sitting down for anybody. We're not stopping. You will acknowledge us and you will give us our accolades when we do the work to deserve them, period. And that's all it is. Whether she's talking about literary works, movements, accomplishments in law, social service, anything, medicine, all of that is where it's at. And this is why when you have people like Umar talking about the radical feminism, it is because these women don't believe in the traditional housewife. And that's what the whole problem is. They believe in the fact that, which is a fact, and I believe it too, we are human beings first. We're not born to be a title, to fit perfectly or neatly inside of a gender role. That is not what we're here for. We have been blessed to come into this life to live a life that is fulfilling for us individually. We have not been put here to be someone else's ability to make a profit, someone else's ability to manufacture other human beings, or to feel like they're superior to us because they have a penis. That is not what we're here for. So whenever you hear these dudes having a problem with feminism, and especially a radical feminism, which means that these women want to become the politicians, they want to become the lawmakers, and they break the rules before they get there to show people that no, this is not traditionally who I am. This is who I am, individually who I am. And you will not stand in my way of allowing me my fucking independence. That is radical feminism in layman's term, in a fucking nutshell. These are the Joanne Chesimars of the world, and the Sir Joyner Truths, the Harriet Tubmans, the Stephanies, the whoever it is that say, I will not be defined by your man-made, religious, morally corrupt, bankrupt description of me being some chaste, scary, weak, and weary person who's supposed to tremble in your sight and be dictated to like I'm a slave forever in life, and that my only purpose is to present you with all types of niceties and pleasures and make you happy while I am forever fucking miserable in a position in life that I can never escape. That's why they have a problem with everything. They have a real problem with women being respected as human beings and be allowed to thrive and live in this world like any other man would. They have a problem with that. They feel like we are supposed to have a glass ceiling and not be able to go past this, but they could explore the fucking world and then the universe if they felt like it. And radical feminists feel like, no, you cannot. We could do that just as much, if not more, because the universe picked us first to represent all of mankind. You come from me, we don't come from you. So therefore, we do not bow down to you in any fucking way. And we don't go along with what you want in this world to benefit you and always make us suffer as a result of us trying to get along with you, play nice with you. You see, the whole point of radical feminism is to expose the fact that these men never have any thought of equity, fairness, or democracy for women. All they ever think about when women are concerned is how she can pleasure or be controlled, manipulated, and dehumanized or made to feel inferior so they can feel superior. That's all it's about. So from this, what I would like to do now is go over some of these other clips where I want you to hear the things that Umar's talking about. And then to wrap up the video, I want to go into the military mind control or military practice where they literally have practices of collective consciousness, collective hypnosis that is literally distributed into society every day. That is really one of the main reasons why when Black women are on here and we are pretty much getting very upset about so-called pick-me's and etc., and we just can't understand for the life of us, right, how these women don't understand what we're saying about Black women's independence and Black women's right to live their lives any way they want. If they don't want children, they don't want husbands, they don't want relationships, and they want to exercise all four and more of the factors and features of the 4B movement, right? They should be allowed to do that and not pressured into thinking that there's something wrong with them or they are, like going against or giving up on their people because they choose themselves. You're supposed to choose yourself. Everybody in this fucking world chooses themselves and their own group of people. It's just we who have been enslaved and indoctrinated into thinking that we are supposed to be the universal people pleasers. We never think about that. That's enough of that. Stand up for yourself. Stand up for what you want in this life, because if you don't give it to yourself, nobody else will. All right, I want you to hear this, and then there's another segment I want you to hear, and then we will go on to the consciousness and the hypnosis, okay?
Kind of conference you can think of. You know what I mean? I want the stock and trading conference where you come with a whole 100 of y'all and y'all teach the youth how to do this thing right there the whole weekend. Boot camp. You're going to learn how to trade stocks before you leave here.
So you want to know what
So this is the point where I point out to y'all how these black males think. This is all about black boys and black males. This is not about the inclusivity of black people on a whole, where black women and girls will be included. They feel like any progress black people make in this country is for black boys and black males. This is the same thing that Booker T. Washington did to what's the lady with the hair products, y'all know who I'm talking about, Madam C.J. Walker, when she tried to ask the black male leaders at the time to help the black women develop businesses and schools for other black women. In that time they called us Negro women to grow, learn, and also to be able to contribute to our communities and our households and etc. Booker T. Washington told her, no, the advancement of the colored people will start with black males first, and later, whenever that should come, black women and girls. And they still have this same mentality to this day. Listen to this fucking idiot.
I've been doing. I take 10,000 cash of my own money. I'll invite 100 young men in Atlanta to come learn. But I partner with this group called Next Level Boys Academy. His name is Gary Davis. And what he does is he go plead to the judge on the south side of Atlanta to reduce sentences of the young men and say, hey, if I put them through my program, he pleads to the judge to reduce the sentences.
Powerful.
So I would send money to them to free the young men. I would send money to them. And then I would get them together and pay them to come learn. So my next movement is going to be to do that again. And, you know, of course, promote it and market it and say, all right, everybody who in the financial space, because I got that type of power. I can say, look, I need 5,000 from you, 5,000 from you. Every $100 going to get to a young. So, you know, so even if whoever you are, I'm putting up my 10, wherever you are, put up 5, put up 2, 2,500 something, sponsor 25 kids. Every 100 go to a kid. And we're going to not only show them how to invest that 100, but we're going to teach them the stock market. We're going to teach them all types of things. You know what I'm saying?
I love it. And then I want you to marry your process and program to other brothers who have some niches that you may not have, or who have your same niche, because we want to need volume, right?
Right.
And then once you marry all these programs together, we now have a system. And now we have an infrastructure to take these children from A to Z with economics. You're going to learn real estate from him. You're going to learn crypto from him. You're going to learn the stock market from him. You're going to learn business planning from him. You see this? You're going to get your startup money from him. And now that you have this system, this infrastructure to take every black boy in Atlanta from A to Z, and our princesses as well, because we don't want to leave them out. Now it's time to talk about building an institution.
All right. So even though you got to understand, right? He's an educated man, and he knows that when he goes around doing these speaking engagements, the majority of the women, I gave it away. The majority of the people that come to see him are black women. So even though you notice he didn't lead with talking about anything that concerns about the immediate inclusion of black women and girls, as he was so excited talking about what they're going to do for black boys and how black men and boys are going to come together and create all of these systems. And this one particular dude right there, Aristotle, who is like 23 or something like that, and he actually learned how to buy stocks and do investment, which is why I tell you, black women, stop talking about relationships and start learning about money. Because when you have money, you could go anywhere in this world and get any other type of man that's going to treat you so much better than these black males. And you don't have to worry about men, and you will have the money to live the life you want with a man who's actually going to treat you like the woman that you are, and not call you a hoe, a 304, or any other dumb shit that they're calling us in rap songs or on these videos they make every day, talking about us so that they can pay their bills because they don't have any education or any personal incentive to get a real fucking job. So I'm just want to point that out, because See, a person like him, he is a fucking misogynist too. But he's a smart one because he knows when to pull shit back and add in the women so that other women that hear this shit who don't see through the bullshit will not feel like that he's always excluding us, but he does. Because when he talks about us, because this dude is notorious for telling people that when he gets married, he's going to marry 2 women, right? So right away, he doesn't understand the level of insult that gives to black women. Because his whole thing is about selfishness and his own fucking carnal appetite, right? So he's thinking about his own sexual desires. He's not thinking about the respect of a black woman, because if he ever was thinking about the respect of a black woman, even though he likes to try to justify his stance by saying that black women are afraid of being shamed by dealing with married men and cheating with other women with their boyfriends, right? As if that is justification for him to disrespect 2 black women and make it seem as if he should be allowed to be so selfish to take advantage sexually of 2 people when those 2 people who outnumber him are only supposed to be satisfied with him. Now, when you look at this man as a black woman who's not fucking taken in and starstruck by his small amount of celebrity, right? As being a modern day civil rights activist, you would never date this man. You would never date this man because of how his body looks. His mind is brilliant. I don't like him, but I got to give credit where credit is due. His mind is brilliant, but he looks like a fucking slob. And his disrespect towards black women, constantly talking about how he needs two women to marry, the whole fucking spiel about polygamy or whatever the fuck you call it, is crazy disrespect to black women. And I know for a fact he's never going to get married. Never. And if he does get married, he will be marrying some of the lowest value women in the world who would go for some shit like that. And he will soon find out that he will reap what the fuck he sows. Because I know as a woman, if I'm married to a dude and he's fucking another woman, he's giving me a free pass to go fuck whoever I want to too. So if he don't know that about women, somebody should really tell him that. Because that is the same way they have ego, we have a she-go too. And our ego will not allow us to sit still for some shit like that. And maybe he doesn't understand women as much as he thinks or proclaims that he does. But I just had to throw that in there. But and I wanted to point out to y'all the things I'm saying about how these dudes only think about themselves. They only care about themselves. And whenever they are in a position to benefit black people, they never think about the single parent black mother struggling who's taking care of these boys who become people like Aristotle and who become people like Umar. Because if y'all don't know Umar's story, if you watch this video, you will learn it. Now, his parents was married, but like everybody else and like mine, they didn't stay together because the father was too fucking out of control, which is always the story whenever there's a union between a black woman and a black male, because he's so fucking residually affected by slavery and inferiority and the fact that as a black male, he's not allowed or doesn't want to be a man in society because of white supremacy. And they always use that as a mental crutch to keep them stunted in life and never stand the fuck up tall and just battle through everything like a fucking gladiator in modern times. Like, they don't have any manhood in them. I could never be a fucking man and be kissing the ass of some fucking white man. I could never. I don't give a fuck if I gotta die trying to fucking best you in the process or take or disable everything you have established. There would be no fucking way I would be living in life as a man on my fucking knees in the position to suck another nigga's dick because I feel like he's superior to me. There would be no fucking way. That is the reason why when I put up the video the other day and the white woman who was the loctician was disrespecting black women and talking about how bitter and racist and hateful we are because she was upset that the black women said, because she was trying to show off that she had a black man, right? And the black woman said, I don't care about your relationship. Why would I care about him who sleeps with you? You don't even wash your ass. And that's what started that whole fucking rant that day with that white woman. And we know it to be true. They have come on every media and talked about how they don't wash their ass. These bitches don't change their drawers. They will fuck, get up, put their same dirty fucking clothes back on and go on about their day like it's all good. They don't wash their ass before, they don't wash their ass after. And then we have the idiot black males on here trying to make it seem as if we're the ones, somebody's at my door, excuse me, with poor hygiene. When how could you be living through life like that and not have poor hygiene? Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back. Sorry, y'all. That was Amazon. I apologize for that interruption. Yeah, so, I mean, these guys are just out of control. So let me go to the other clip to show you how they ended. Now, mind you, after this conversation here, they kind of like segue into Umar trying to tell Aristotle that as he was talking, he realized that Aristotle's focus was solely, like I said, only on little boys. He never mentioned about the women of the community. And in fact, there was a portion where he started talking about how, once again, and we already know what's coming, right? How black males who begin to make a little bit of money or who falsely believe now they're on some type of equivalent level to white men and white supremacy, that now all of a sudden black women are no longer good enough for them, and that we're not women to the extent that a white woman is, Hispanic, Asian, or other. So he began to talk about foreign women, and Umar interrupted him and reminded him of supposedly what these black dudes' role are in our communities or in life. And I'm just sitting there going, who is Umar trying to convince? Us or this dude? Because this guy has no fucking idea of what Umar is talking about and doesn't really give a fuck. So this is the end of the interview, and you can see, look at the smirk on this dude's face. You can see where when Umar started talking about how these guys are supposed to think about incorporating us, this is his face. And his face speaks 1,000 fucking words.
You had to tell young black men to avoid these mistakes, what would they be?
Sexual discipline is a very big problem for black men. It's the reason why we got so many, one of the reasons why we have so many single parented homes, fatherless children, lack of masculine accountability, conflict between each other. We have to become more sexually disciplined. Related to that, we have to become more spiritually grounded.
Well, we know that ain't gonna
It doesn't have to be a religion, but it can be a religion. Black men have to learn to put God first, because to be honest with you, most black men that I know or have come across are idol worshipers.
Indeed.
And they don't even realize it. And do you know what the idol they're worshiping is?
Money in themselves.
Themselves and their bank account.
And they ain't got neither.
Which means our young black boys are growing up to also be idol worshipers who are praising themselves and their bank account.
And black women haters.
One of the side effects of being a successful black man in a racist society that you have to guard against, you, me, these brothers, all of us, is becoming a narcissist. Sometimes when you're one of the few who made it, you tend to develop a very grandiose conceptualization of who you are, and that turns you into an idol worshiper of your own ego. The next thing is we have to become more charitable. Black men are too selfish. We're not doing enough in the community for free to improve our people. And the last thing that I would say is we have to become more courageous in defending our community against the white power structure. And the last one I gotta say is we have to show more honor and praise towards our women. We are too hard,
that ain't
too
right.
unforgiving, too critical of black women who have it the worst of all women in this country without even the benefit of knowing that their men have their backs at all times. We got to do a better job showing our sisters that we care about them.
I want you guys to notice that when he made that last remark, again, people's faces tell 1,000 words, right? You notice how he could not look that other dude in the eye when he said that, and his eyes tended to wander the room and then fade towards the ground. Like all these things, if you really take collective hypnosis, body language, and collective consciousness learning, reading, and studying serious, you will know that right there, that whole body language in those last few sentences pretty much told you that shit was performative right there. He didn't mean one word of that shit. He just had to say it because that's what his reputation has been built on. That's it. All right. I'm done with these two motherfuckers. I really am. Oh, wait. Yeah. I am, but what I want to do is I'm going to put it on the screen for you. I want to go to this dude's channel, right? And I want to show you, where is it? I want to show his course and everything for everybody that is interested. See, because I don't give a fuck about this dude. However, if he's teaching you something that you can benefit from, that's what I want you to learn. Fuck him. But if you can become as rich as he is or get 3, 4, 5 times more money than you have right now based off of doing what he told you to do in this program, that's what I want for black women. So let me go back to this dude. Here it is. Hold on. Okay. So this is this guy's channel. His channel is Honey Drip Network and Aristotle. Even listening to the name, it shows you how idiotic and immature this dude is and how he is a narcissist. He's an egomaniac and he's all about worshiping himself and money. Honey Drip. Okay. Did you notice the table? The honey dripping off the table, all types of stupid shit like that. Or maybe I'll show you that. Like they're sitting at a table and the table is like that. So, but anyway, he has a membership here, right? This right here is the book that he has in reference to investing. And this is the actual website. I'm going to link all this stuff below. Black women, don't worry. But these are the things that I need you to go ahead and start learning to do. I'm going to also put I told you about Fidelity Investment. Let me just go get that real quick for y'all. So you have that as well as another YouTube channel to learn about investing. And I want y'all to start taking this shit seriously and start getting into it. So it was Fidelity, right? Let me see. Is it Fidelity? Yeah, it is. Fidelity Investments for Beginners. Okay. Hold on. Okay. So now I'm going to show you this as well. So this is another tab, and this is a bunch of videos, right? Where you have Fidelity right here for beginners. The ultimate guide is really the type of the tutorials you want to watch. This is an old one. This down here is a newer one, right? and understand what they're doing, okay? They're trying to get you to understand the fundamentals of investing by using these particular apps. You don't have to use those apps. You can use any app. I suggest you use SoFi, Acorn, and M1. M1 is the greatest one. I love that one. And I want you to always go on her page. This is your rich BFF. This lady wrote a book. I bought her book. Her book is pretty good. She is very good at giving you real life information and situations about making money. She's not bullshitting the way a lot of these other people are. So go to her page and take advantage of everything she's talking to you about. I also want to show you the Black woman's book and the Black YouTuber who I follow all the time, who has taught me many things to do with money. And that is Millennial in Debt. Now, where is Millennial in Debt? Because I am subscribed to all these people, but I need y'all to start doing this for yourselves. I don't want to keep beating y'all in the head with this, but I need y'all to get money savvy, because these white folks are going to come from our pockets. They coming for our money because they want us 50% unemployed by 2030. They want us completely destitute by 2050, and we cannot have that shit. We have to fight back. And this is Millennial in Debt, okay? So with Millennial in Debt, she not only has this incredible fucking website, YouTube channel, she also has a website. So let me go to the website and show y'all too. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry, I didn't include this, but I'm sorry, I'm doing it now. All right, because I didn't include her. Yeah, millennialindebt.com. Is it .com or .org? No, it's .com. All right, let me go here. All right, so this is her website. And believe me when I tell you, you take advantage of what she puts here. You make money, you save money, and she will even personally coach you. All right, she has done it for me. I appreciate it. This woman had taken a few $1,000s and turned it into over 30. So she's not a joke. She is a Black woman that took her time to learn about money. She started off as a New York City high school teacher. She took her time, taught herself technology, and then went into, I think it was program coding program coding. She started working in tech, and then remember when they had the big layoff in the tech and stuff? She lost her job, but she continued to freelance and consult. So she's still making a ton of fucking money, and she wrote a whole book. I have that book as well. And she's just somebody that you need to pay attention to teach you how to use the money you got to grow it. And let me just tell y'all something, Black women. Do not be intimidated by any of this stuff. It does not take a whole lot of money to make money. I know if you want to work with the big firms, it takes thousands of dollars, but you don't got to start that way. You really don't. Right now, I have an account with Schwab, right? Charles Schwab. That account is only it's less than 10,000, but when I opened that account, I opened that shit with $25. That's all you need. That's all you need. And you just slowly buy and build your portfolio, learn how to work charts, tables, if you want to. If you don't, learn the basics of investments, learn how to use the robo alerts and the settings where I log into Charles Schwab, I pick the stocks I want to buy, I click, all I do is drop the menu and click how many shares I want to buy, when I want to buy it. Like right now, the market is closed in New York. It's 4:18. It closes at 3:30 the latest, right? So if I could still buy stocks right now, but the transaction will not happen until tomorrow morning at 9:00 when it opens up, when the floor opens up again. But the computer already knows what I want. So it knows how much I'm willing to pay and no more. Or I will tell it, however much this stock costs, only give me 3 or only get me like 1. And the computer will do it. And then later on, when I got time to go back and see, did I make money or did I lose money? Most times I'm making money because I'm never buying things that give me that much risk. And then you also have to know that when you start doing this, you have to take out a certain amount of time to learn about all the stocks that are out there. Like there are specifically Black-owned stocks, there's global stocks, there's different things like NASDAQ and all types of other things. You learn this stuff from going to Millennial in Debt's page. You learn these things by going to Rich BFF. This is where I learned all this shit. Believe me. And I'm still not the greatest at it, but I make decent money. So I don't have a high drive when it comes to investing. I'm not very risky. I try to play things safe because I like safety and I like my money, right? So if I buy something, I usually buy it knowing I'm going to get a little bit of a return. And I do invest in a lot of things that give me dividends because that's just my personal thing. You don't have to do that, but you have to begin Black women, because that's the reason why that dude Aristotle is sitting there with millions of dollars in his bank account, because he learned how to invest, and then he just started investing with every little bit of money that he had until he got lucky one day. And once he got lucky one time, you can get lucky again and again and again and again and again until poverty is no more with you. And then you do what he did. Instead of him just sticking with the investment, he went into businesses, he went into investing into real estate and etc. And that's where the real money is at. You understand? You have investment deals that happen in cities throughout this country that are in the billions of dollars. And that's all it takes, y'all. So Black women, we are very fucking smart. I would say we're the smartest people on the planet because we literally can make $1 out of 15 cents. So if we know how to do that, once you are no longer intimidated by learning to invest and you actually start crawling your way through the process till you learn to run a fucking a 200 through that motherfucker, you're going to be great. I know you will be, because I've seen Black women who put more effort in it than me. They got like 2 and 3 houses now. They don't worry about nothing. They have left the job I met them on and they live in a whole different other life. And I only see them in a fucking post on Facebook travel. Okay? I'm trying to tell you. It's and you can do the same thing because all of us have the same potential. Different abilities, but same potential. And just stop thinking. And now we go into the collective consciousness, the negative ways that we have been taught for so long, because that shit does not benefit us. It really hurts us. So now let me show y'all how we have been inundated with negativity to the point where, we've been inundated with negativity to the point where we don't even think for ourselves anymore. And we're just out here doing the things we feel like we should do instead of things we really need to be doing. Now, this is a trailer for Netflix. Is it Netflix? I think it's Netflix, but it's a trailer for a program that the military does called MK Ultra. And this is nothing but complete mind control. And this is real shit that they do. They study how to make people's minds do incredible things, y'all, in the military. Things that you are very capable of doing all by yourself. But this is, what do they call this? This is a certain type of warfare, psychological warfare, that they are heavily invested in. So even though this is like a movie documentary based off of true events and real science, the thing you need to know about this is that all of this stuff is what leads people to be, how they say Black people are more influenced by social media and celebrity and pretty much able to be led to certain outcomes and make sure they have certain behaviors. This is why that shit exists. Okay, I want y'all to know that. And this is what they're doing right now with the deep fake videos to make you believe certain things about Donald Trump. This is what they're doing with the news broadcast, trying to tell you that there's a whole bunch of black people in New York City voting for Trump. They're Trump people, when all of this shit is a lie. This is what they do when they put out polls showing you that Trump is leading and this Democrat is this and that. Or this is what they do, and this is why they do it, because they need you to give them a certain behavior. So I want you to understand this, and I want you to know that this is a very real fucking thing that they do every day to us through commercials, radio, YouTube, Instagram, X, all that bullshit. This is what they do.
Are you a member or have ties to extremist groups or organizations? No. Do you use drugs or alcohol? Yes. Do you trust Agent Morgan?
The reason why that dude bust out laughing is because when you watch this show, you will see that he was put through a series of therapy and treatment to make him forget the dude that was standing right next to him that literally had trained him. So he started laughing because he realized their hypnosis worked. That's why he's so fucking elated with himself.
Are you ready to begin? I'm gonna fund your research, Doctor. Push the boundaries of science, the full support of the government. It's enough to drug the whole state.
Funding. That's what you always wanted.
Yeah. Figure out what to make of them.
The CIA supported young psychiatrists to experiment.
Shelley Powers, arsonist.
It's Laurel.
Why were you arrested?
You think I'm sick?
Politics and science make the worst of friends. I had some questions about where my research is being taken.
I don't like questions.
Has mind control been achieved?
What the hell do you think you're doing? We turn our eyes away for even a moment. Filth will overcome us.
Okay, so to get to the point, y'all, right? This is stuff that really happened in the 1960s, okay? They used LSD to experiment on people to control them, and because you know that's a psychotropic, right? So it literally alters your brain. You're never the same again. So, but what they did in this experiment, I'm gonna give it away because I want you to go watch it. What they did was they managed to control everyday people to become murderers, arsonists, vigilantes, whatever they needed them to be at the time. And when that dude said science and politics are an enemy, not true. They are the best of fucking friends, in bed with each other every night and day. Okay? But the reason I bring this to your attention is not to be a conspiracy theorist, right? But I want you to understand that the things Black women that are being given to you or constantly shown to you and how could I say, berated at you, put at you constantly, thrown at you, beat down upon you, you listening to it every day, it is because they're trying to control you too. When we keep hearing about how we have bad attitudes, we stink, we're the worst mothers, we're undesirable, that's why Black males don't want you. Oh, you need to be married. You need to stop acting up and allow Black males back into your household. Two-parent family is going to solve all your problems. You are the problem, Black woman. Oh, you raised them fucking children, didn't you? That's why they're so fucked up today. This is all a part of involuntary mind control. You understand what I mean? You see the doctor is a psychiatrist, right? So he majored in psychology, and his whole thing is about controlling the actions of other people without them recognizing that they are being taught or directed to do a particular thing. And this is a real thing that the military has been doing, not just in the military, but on society for a long fucking time. And they have made tons of movies about this, exposing what they do. Matter of fact, what's his name? Ben Affleck just played in a movie about this not too long ago this year. I don't remember the name of the movie, but if you just Google Ben Affleck movies, you're gonna see it. It's about him, his wife, and his daughter. They were part of a military experiment where once they work on these people, like they had those test subjects in that trailer, they actually get these people to the level where they can influence other people, and it's like having another sense become developed beyond your normal brain activity. And they're able to convince people to do things that they wouldn't otherwise do. And these people do these things in a trance-like state where they're not in control of their own bodies. So when you watch this and you start reading up on these things, I'm gonna show you a couple of more channels you can look at, right? And you could just do this in your own research. And this is why the other day when I made the video about Black women, we have got to start expanding our thought process, our education intake, and just develop our person intellectually. This is why I did that, because I was building up to this, because I didn't want to come on and just say this to you like this to insult your intelligence or insult you, because I know that because we're always beat down in society, right? A lot of times Black women don't take criticism or even corrective criticism from other Black women well, and they immediately go to the defense and go on an attack, which is the result of collective consciousness and collective hypnosis, right? Because when you think independently and you're aware of all this shit that's going on out here to trap you, they can't get you. But it is when you're not aware of things that you come in contact with every fucking day, fucking with the way you think, the way you feel about another Black person, whether you want to fuck them up, kill them, or whatever. All of that comes out of what you're being exposed to, that you don't know the history or the real reason for what they want you to do with this information behind what you're seeing and being exposed to. This is all that's going on right now, because think I'm crazy or not, but whenever Black people start advancing in this country, white America is going to find a way to knock you all the way back down the stairs again, to start from zero after you done already got to 10. Now, we spoke about earlier in the beginning of this video how Black women are currently the smartest, most credentialed, growing entrepreneurial group in the country. That's not good for white wealth and white power in America. That's not good at all. And that is why the fear fund or fearless fund was struck down temporarily, because you have an election coming. White people want to be back in control. They want to be the only ones with money, the only ones with power, the only ones who are allowed to do whatever they want to other people, and the other people have no rights or no get back or no retort at all, right? That's what they want. So when you have a group of the powerless beginning to access information and the tools they need within a society that oppresses and suppresses them, they're starting to blow past that and jump over all those hurdles and obstacles. They got to come up with a way to knock your ass back down, because you jumping up to the point or to the platform they don't want you to ever get to. And this is real life shit. So this is why, as you get closer to November, you're going to see almost all of every media propaganda, commercial, or agenda they have targeted towards Black people. And they're going to try to divide you straight down the middle. They're going to divide the Black people that are about, like me, care only about Black women, want the best for Black women. I don't give a fuck what Black dudes are doing, white people and the rest of America. I only care about how Black women are getting along in this bitch. They're going to try to take people like me and seem like we are the outcasts. We're wrong. We don't think properly. You shouldn't follow them, because what will happen is you won't be able to get a job. You won't be able to get educated. People won't think you can fit in and get along with others. and they're going to use the Oreos and the Coons, right? And the people who don't care about Black people's progression or progress and only care about benefiting white America to the max, which is Black males collectively on a whole, right? They're going to use them and try to position them in places that help to keep you down as well. And as it gets closer, you're going to see more of this AI shit come up, more of people you have never heard of before in your life pop up from out of nowhere, trying to tell you that, oh no, that's not what you think it is. It's actually this way. And if you come over here and go along with us, the way you never have been before, us Republicans, us KK members, you're going to live a better life. In the meantime, they're not telling you that hidden in the fine print, they're trying to take away your Voting Rights Act. They're trying to take away your right to go to school to get a PhD. They're trying to take away your right to work full time. They're trying to take away your children if they get in office and they feel like you are not a good mother. And that is something you really got to understand, Black women, because we live in a world where the number one crime in this world that makes more money than any business or any government that you could think of in this world is human trafficking. So if these people, they gotta wait. If these people get to the point where you actually go for this shit and you go along with whatever it is they're saying and you vote these people in, and they start implementing all these things that slowly take away all your rights, and they do get to the point where they go, you know, Stephanie been running her fucking mouth on YouTube for too long. Go write up a fucking child case against this bitch and go take all them kids out of her fucking house. And then when you get them, we're going to set up a fucking account on the dark web and we're going to sell all them kids. And we'll come up with some fucking story where they somehow got misplaced or accidentally killed or whatever. And we'll show you. This is real life. There have been many stories where people's children have been taken from them, broken up, put in different homes, and those kids disappeared. Sometimes they may say the child died, but then there's an issue about the real identity of the dead kid, or they ran away, right? And it's an issue with that. Or they get kids that are orphaned and they fuck them up the whole time they're in the system. And then we all know that you age out the system, right? So for some reason, those kids never ever qualify for independent living and housing where they live by themselves and they got their own apartment. They're always somehow homeless on the street. And then they have people, and I'm not saying this is systematically done by the government. I'm saying this happens in this country. Then there are people that sit around waiting for these kids that have no family, nowhere to go, no education, and no awareness of the dangers that await them, and they sell them over and over and over and over again. And the reason this shit doesn't stop is because the most powerful, important people in this country, who are the people that you put in office, that you don't push back against, that you don't stand up and make sure they don't come into power, are the very motherfuckers that are buying these kids and making sure that that industry stays well alive. I'm talking about your judges, your congressmen, your presidents, your everything from all these countries. So this is important, Black women. And let me tell you something. And it's so important for us, it's crazy, because 59% of the girls and the women that are trafficked are you and me. Because I think it was in that video. Yeah, it was in that video. In this video with Umar, he talks about the spirituality of melanin, right? And you know how they're always rumoring like the elitist things behind all these strange rich white people, Illuminati, whoever, all these people, Skull and Bones, whatever, right? He talked about that in that same interview about how, and this is true now because we know this to be true. We had several situations in history where this has revealed itself, where children are killed because rich people think that by drinking their blood that extends their lifespan. The fluids in your brain, the synovial fluids in your brain, help them to be younger or function better. They believe in all types of ancient druid ceremonies and devil worshiping. This is real. We know this to be true. People like Jack the Ripper, he believed in shit like this, and even people to this day. All these type of things come out. But getting back to it is, whatever these crackpots and kook pots believe in, right? The fact of the matter still boils down to, when they're snatching these kids and selling their organs or whatever the fuck they're doing that they shouldn't be doing, they're doing it to people that look like you and me, number one, and then everybody else. So for us as Black women, once we realize what we are up against in this world, and we are up against everybody, including the Black male who helps these white people do this shit to us, you got to be on guard. On guard. On guard. You have to. You have to be on guard and on guard, because you got to protect yourself and you got to protect your children, especially your girls. Because the way he explained it in that video is that, and he would know more about that shit than me, you see how a lot of times when our little girls go missing and they're under 13, it's because they want the virgins, right? And they sell these little kids for like almost $1 million the first time. Then after that, everything is like $500,000, $250,000, whatever. But those children are constantly recycled, making motherfuckers millions of dollars. Not the petty drug dealers on the corner, which is why in a lot of our communities, you don't see them motherfuckers like that no more, right or wrong. So this is why you have to get off this internet talking about relationships and making Black males and playing house with them and worrying about whether they find you desirable or not, or what they say about you or not, or worrying about if you are a swirler or a divester or a celibate person or a person who's taking a break. That shit don't matter. What matters is you getting your fucking finances together so that in your life you are able to afford a decent place to live and stay with your child, good education, so that they are not the type of kid that like lives in the world like in La La Land, where they don't understand the real dangers that are awaiting them while still being a child now, but having the sensibility to know that, look, I'm a Black young girl out here. There are many people out here looking to exploit me and take advantage of my existence, because this has been the history of this country. From slavery to present, y'all, they have always been preying on our baby girls. And now you got these buck-broken Black dudes out here helping them out. The same way they did back in slavery, they're doing it now. When we live in these communities and our little girls are pregnant before they graduate high school or junior high school, that is a result of this shit. And that is a result of being trapped in poverty, baby trapped in all of the stereotypical negative shit that is taught to us by collective consciousness, collective hypnosis of us feeling like we don't deserve no better. This is our fucking lot in life. These fools been doing this to us all this time. We couldn't possibly want something different for tomorrow or the future, but you can, and you're supposed to. And I want you to spend all of your time from now on YouTube and every other social platform growing this fucking muscle in your head more than the fucking girls on here talking about glutes, abs, and all the rest of that dumb shit, okay? Keep your body fit, because if you got to knock a motherfucker out, you got to do what you got to do. But you want to make your mind just as strong so that you're not manipulated and you're not taken in because somebody is making things too emotional for you to deal with, because they also know that about us, that we are highly emotional people. And that the reason for that, and we all know what it is when you are a people that holds a lot of fucking frustration, a lot of anger, and a lot of being unfulfilled, while at the same time having this crazy need for belongingness, you are easily emotionally manipulated. And they know this because they study psychology and they study us more than you know. Believe me. They come on here every day and watch what Black women watch, because they know that in the community, even though these Black males want to pretend like they're the man, they actually know that symbolically speaking, we are, because we're the ones with jobs. We're the ones holding our homes down. We're the ones raising children when these dudes desert us, abandon their kids, and then go out here and make broken home after broken home, go in and out of jail, never do nothing but their life, but be on drugs, drink, be on the down low, turn into women, and do everything but be a fucking law-abiding citizen. They know this. So since they also see that we are way more mentally strong than these dudes, they have to constantly find ways to try to fucking break you down so that you become just as manipulable as Black males. And so that you think that nothing is important in life but making as much money as you can and being, as Cynthia said, in as close proximity to whiteness as possible so that you believe you made it. Okay? And that whole interview was actually very enlightening. A lot of things I didn't agree with, but a lot of things I did because I know them to be true. Especially in talking along the line that of reasoning we're speaking about right now. In these Black people who actually feel like they've made it, right? The people that make money that you guys admire, like Beyonce, Jay-Z, etc., right? Like them, don't like them. But have enough personal integrity and independent thought to realize that none of these people care about Black people for real, because they don't do anything for Black people. All of the money they got from us to make them who they are, they never ever think that, okay, you know what? I have a lot. Let me share some of what I have, or let me just help out my people who have given me so much. They're never going to do it because they're afraid of pissing off white people and making white people believe that they care about Black people more than they care about making white people happy and losing their money. So this is why collective consciousness, collective hypnosis is important, y'all. And I think that as Black women, like every week, we should be on those brain teasing channels, learning and looking at everything these white people are trying to set us up for, or that they're involved in that we don't know shit about, so that we could be caught up on everything just like every fucking body else, so that when they come for us, we actually have a line of defense, and that we can see through a lot of the shit that they're trying to do to us before it's actually done, so that we don't get hurt and stay as disenfranchised as we are now, and we actually begin to crawl up out of this fucking poverty pit that we have been living in since they fucking rounded us all up and took away our humanity and turned us into enslaved people. We've been living in the same state since they started that, believe it or not. We have not progressed past that. And I think it is about fucking time that we owe it to ourselves and our ancestors to start getting our shit together. And that is only going to come when Black women really understand that this is a movement for Black women and girls only. Only. That's the only way you're going to make this shit work. You have to vote for your best interests. You have to vote for things that push Black women ahead and stop pushing us back. I have seen many of the people they put out in society to pull Black women back, like Sexy Red, talking about how she's voting for Donald Trump and praising Republican Klansmen madness. And it makes no sense. And you should be smarter than that, than to listen to someone like that, who is put into society to tear you down instead of build you up. and make people think that you're only worth and what you're here for, like every other fucking rap song that a black male has made denigrating black women, which is to pop your ass, right? And shake your titties and talk about how great your head game is and how your thing pop better than the next one and all that shit. Like, that's not who the fuck we are. And it is about time, regardless of what all these motherfuckers on YouTube got to say about us, we actually show them better than we can tell them. You ain't talking about me. Because me and my sisters, we out here looking out for each other and we trying to get what we supposed to have in this life. Whether we got this stupid black motherfucking dude coming with us or not, you will not stop our progression. And that's the type of time y'all need to be on with every fucking thing. And let all these women know that's on here shopping and, you know, putting shit in their house that's nice and beautiful that you all provide for them, that your check might be a little late this month because we trying to do shit for ourselves this month. We not really trying to franchise you. And them niggas the same thing. Stop going on their lives, stop going on their channels, stop giving them cash apps, and stop giving them super chats. If you want to watch they shit, fine. Stop giving all these motherfuckers on here your money. And take that money and go sit down with a SoFi video, go sit down with an M1 video, go sit down with a Fidelity Investments tutorial and learn how to begin to invest for yourself and your future. And you put your hard-earned money that you worked for in your own pocket and either grow it by investing it or grow it by saving it, and stop giving it to YouTube channels and content creators. Stop doing that. If they make money, let them make it the way that this shit was designed to give it to them, through YouTube. And if they can't get it that way, then tell those motherfuckers to go get a full-time fucking job like the rest of us. And you black women start caring about yourself more than you caring about these silly motherfuckers on the other end of this camera telling you shit that is not for your best interest, but for only theirs. Ain't nobody giving a fuck about you making rent, you being able to feed your family, put gas in your car, or get the car fare you need to get to work for the... You do it. You do it. Because that is your responsibility to yourself, and you do not have a responsibility to be anybody's fucking mama on here. If they need money, they got family, a lot of them motherfuckers got wives and husbands, go get it from them and leave us the fuck alone. If you want to come on here and entertain us, do it for free, bitch. Do it for free the same fucking way I come on here and do it for free. If you can't do it that way, then you don't deserve shit from me, because I ain't your motherfucking bankroll. And y'all better start understanding that. Black women, you are the most exploited on this motherfucker. If it ain't a person rage baiting you, it's your own fucking kind playing into your insecurities and trying to get you to collectively be under a hypnosis of thinking that everything wrong in life is only going to happen to you and only you, and that you don't deserve nothing good because this one says that about you and this one says this about you. Black women, snap out of that shit. Snap out of it. And don't think that because the women come on here and they may tell you something that you think is helpful. I seen that shit they put up out here the other day, Burb and Bougie and the rest of them, about the fucking background checks on the guys and all that. You think that shit is helpful. But the bottom line is, black women, none of them motherfuckers is going to just come on here and tell you, look here, black women, you don't really need to know about all these fucking background checks if you just stay away from them motherfuckers and stop dealing with them completely. That way you don't have to ever worry about bringing home the wrong guy, getting busted in your fucking head when you somewhere with this dude, or being chopped up like Sade, God forbid, you know, God bless the dead, Sade was when she went on a date with an unsuspected fucking maniac. Background check or not. Because ain't no background check in the world going to tell you if a motherfucker has plans to hurt you or kill you. So this is what I'm talking about. And for the people in the back that swear to God that every time I talk to my sisters, I'm trying to be jealous or petty or downplaying another person, I'm not. I'm as fucking real as they come. I ain't never asked black women for nothing but to evolve. Now, if you could say the same thing from any of them other motherfuckers always looking for money or going on videos and talking about how when they got demonetized, they felt like they got gut punched, but now they all good again because they getting their check, but they ain't never told black people to come together as black women to fight for black women causes and to protect little girls. They have never done that. And they've never put themselves on the line to take care of black women and girls. But they'll take your fucking money, though. I need y'all to get out of that collective consciousness, get out of that collective hypnosis, and understand that the only person you're supposed to be on here fighting for, gunning for, and going all out for is for yourself. When you click on a video, you click on a video that's going to be beneficial to you. Fuck entertainment. Entertainment is bullshit. You could do that on your downtime. But when you click on here to spend some real quality time, you should be clicking on motherfuckers that's going to expand your mind. That's all I'm saying. Not people that's worrying about, oh, you're going to give me a dime, $1, $5, $20. Can you hit that cash app? Thank you for the super chat. You don't need that. Because whenever you need that cash app or that super chat, you cannot call them niggas up and go, yo, I overspent this month. Can you give me back my money? They not going to do it. So don't give it to them in the first place. Don't. Because I'm telling you, that's all these people are coming on here doing with all black women. They go into their algorithm because YouTube, as a content creator, sends us a recap of our analytics for the week, for the month. And they watch the little fucking graph, tell them when you should make a video here, how your audience liked this, when they did, when they didn't. Oh, look, if you go up here, you get this amount of money. If you go down here, you only get this. And that's what they're doing. That is the exploitation they're doing with you. From your favorite motherfucker to the one that has been here for 10 years or more, they all doing the same thing to you. They're not caring about you as the black woman or us collectively as black women being able to hold our fucking heads proud in society and get the same treatment in life that every other motherfucker out here is getting. They don't care about that. As long as they could be like your girl Shira and showing off the fake backgrounds and whatever partially real background she got and shopping with your money, that's all they care about. And the dudes too. They don't go to work. When they get ready to make money, you know what they do? You see this background behind me? This is an official background that comes with StreamYard. There is a green screen that you buy from Amazon that comes up and down. Let me show you. You see that? It comes up and down like that so that people don't look into your house, right? So when they get ready to go to work, you know what they do? They go, oh, it's time to go to work. They turn on YouTube and they pull up the green screen, the portable extended green screen out of the fucking container. And they sit there and they beg for cash apps and they beg for super chats and they talk shit and they go, oh, I'm not going to continue to live if I don't get another like or super chat or cash app. And y'all go along with it. When knowingly that nothing being said on any of those lives, panels, or videos is giving you no information to really get your life to a place where you have more money to live and do what you got to do, to be safer, to be more comfortable, to set your babies up if you have them for college, for internships, for jobs, to learn how to do resumes, to learn how to set them up in life so that you could begin the process of generational wealth. Watch the videos to show you how to show you how to learn how to buy a home, show you how to go on the USDA, so that if you can't afford a down payment or a closing cost, you get an old home where you got a zero down and you just get up on in there and pay the big ass monthly mortgage that you can afford and begin to live your life differently than how we all living it. Right now, even me, I live in an apartment too. I used to live in a house. We want to go past what we currently doing now. And we can't do that when we crazy involved in the stupidity on here that is really leading us to nowhere. What did you say, hey Patty? She said, last year you made me realize I need to unsubscribe from Priscilla paid membership. Thanks. I don't mind them trying to make money, but I do agree Black women need to keep their money for that's my only point. And let me explain myself so I'm clear for everybody, right? I ain't hating on them making $1. This system is built where they gonna make $1 based off their views. Do you hear me? That is how YouTube pays us. My channel is demonetized because I cuss too much. I talk about white people. I talk about shit that really affects Black women. I talk about Black femicide. And I use the words rape, murder, sexual assault. I use those words because when I'm telling you a story, I want you to understand and feel what I'm saying. I come on here because I care about Black women. I am currently right now, y'all, still fighting my own fucking city to still try to get a fucking rally for Black femicide, and they are tearing my ass up. I don't tell you about that every day because that's my fight to fight. Whenever I fucking win, I will let you know. But I'm constantly fighting that fucking fight because you know what? It's important to me when Black women, and let me show y'all this shit because I watch this shit and I get mad every fucking day. There's new channels that come up every week about Black femicide. I just found this new one the other fucking day and I was just so outraged. I was like, what the fuck is this? Hold on, let me stop. That's West 4V. I hit the play button by accident. All right, so this is a new one. I don't even know how many of y'all saw this new one, right? Now let me show y'all. Let me bring it up so y'all can see it. This is a new channel. This is a new Black femicide channel. This shit makes me mad, right? Because it's that many Black women being killed. So this is a new one I found maybe like 2-3 weeks now. It's called Gritty. I had never seen this shit last year or the year before if it was already on here. You understand what I'm saying? But when you read or listen to the stories that go on here, it's crazy. And sometimes it's so many Black women that are killed ridiculously, they create little genres for the killing. Like the other day or last month, they had one about wives that were killed by their husbands. Then another time they had put together a ensemble of Black women creators, or how did they put it? Did they say creators? Yeah, creators who were killed by their boyfriends. And then they did another one with the pregnant women who were killed by husbands, the pregnant women that were killed by boys. The point is, y'all, so many Black women are being killed that these people with these channels could take their time and create fucking niches for the Black women's tragedies to fit into. And there's so many of them that they never run out of possibilities to show you the slaughter that Black women go through. And for all these Black women on here that are favored, praised, and all this shit that claim they care so much about Black women, none of them, in my opinion, do enough to talk about protecting Black women from Black femicide. When Bourbon Bougie lost her monetization, I happened to be watching the West 4B movement. I didn't even know she was demonetized. She popped up on there telling her fucking story. It was all sad. One fucking day. The next motherfucking morning, she came back on Glee, happy as ever, talking about how she was so happy. 50 fucking thousand Black women wrote emails, complained, rallied, all that shit to get this bitch back monetized. But they couldn't pick up a motherfucking pen or type one letter on the keyboard to talk about Black femicide, Black women reputation destruction, dehumanization, demeaning of Black women on YouTube by particular motherfuckers we see every day. Lapeef Network, Anton Daniels, all the rest of these motherfuckers on here with their channels, Charleston White, every fucking body you could think of. They can't come together to fight the right fight, but they could come together for a creator who don't give a fuck about Black women, but will come on here and reiterate everything she finds from Reddit and everything else to make Black women go, oh, she care about me. And idolize her bullshit life of being married to some ugly fucking Black dude with kids that are not very fortunate looking because of that union and her life. Because if you cannot tell me that's not the case. You got all these Black women on here going through limerence about relationships and dudes they knew and how Black dudes fucking white women and this one and that one, and oh, you're ugly, and the exotical is more pretty, and the half-breed is really what we want, and no, she's not biracial, she's really Black. They worried all about that shit instead of worrying about losing their right to exist in a free state of being. Do you want to go back to a time where a white person walks on the sidewalk and you got to go in the curb because the white person is coming? Or they took away your right to have an abortion because none of you got together enough to let the representatives know, you fuck with us, we fuck with you. You take our rights for abortion away from us, we will take away your right to fuck us. How about that, bitch? No, nobody cared enough. But they care about shit that they should not be caring about. And the things that they need to move 50,000 deep on, they don't move on that. And why is that, Black women? Because you have collectively fallen into a consciousness of self-hate and other Black women hate, to where as long as it happens to her down the block or her in another state, it's okay because it's not me. And that's that bitch's fault. Or you say some of the same incredibly wicked, hateful shit that DZ and them be saying over there on that crazy bitch's channel, talking about Black women like a motherfucker. Or you come out of wherever the fuck you be hibernating at and come drop Father's Day videos like that crazy bitch Miss Archduchess did the other day. This is the shit that gotta stop. And if you want things to change, Black women, you have to demand change on here. You, the subscriber. You have to click off from that bullshit or just tell your girlfriend, that's old shit. Don't fuck with that. This is a person that clearly is only thinking about themselves. They're not talking about one thing in their videos that really relates to you and me and what we going through every day. I will actually eat my words if I see these bitches start doing videos about how Milwaukee, Wisconsin is the #1 place in America right now, the capital of Black femicide. If they stop worrying about relationships and start only doing videos on how Black women can get into community resource programs to get away from domestic violence, keep themselves in situations where they could prevent black femicide, having their daughters raped and then shot by these useless fucking dudes they marry, and bring these old bitches in their house and leave their daughters in there with them by themselves when they either on vacation, at work, or go away. Like, I forget the little girl's name, Lauren somebody. That happened to her. Her father was home. Her mother didn't leave her with her father. She left her with her stepfather, who raped her and then shot her in her fucking head. 16-year-old little girl. I read about her story too on Gritty. I didn't know about that till I read it. And I was so angry, believe me, because I said, that story truly reflects the desperate state and mentality of a Black woman that feels like she has to have what she thinks everybody else has that makes her a woman. Or I gotta have this useless nigga in my house fucking on me, but secretly fiending for my fucking daughter. He fucking me, but probably wanting to fuck my daughter and fantasizing about it while he's with me, which is why he wouldn't be so involved with her. And as soon as she left, he raped that little girl and barricaded her and him in that house, and nobody could get in. And finally, when the police arrived, he had raped that baby and shot her to death because he had to live out his lust for a beautiful little Black girl. She ain't grown. She ain't no woman. She's a little girl. And until these chicks start going over those real life situations that all of us deal with in our lives one way or another, I don't want to hear shit about them. They all full of shit, in my opinion, because they don't make things that deal with everyday Black women's lives important. They don't. The same way that they could go on Reddit and scroll through them dumbass fucking stories and bring you back shit that is not really relevant, that's the same way they could go and find out what programs do they have in this particular state to help this woman when she's looking for childcare or she's been unemployed and she has not qualified for unemployment yet. Is it too much to ask these bitches who got their hand out and these niggas on here who got their hands out looking for you to put money in it for them to reciprocate by giving you resources you could really use in your everyday life? Is that asking too much? I don't think so. I don't think it is. Because you can entertain the people. But if you entertain the people, turn off your fucking Cash App. Stop asking for super chats and be satisfied with what the fuck YouTube gives you and leave the Black women the fuck alone. Go get a job and pay your own fucking bills. I am spent, y'all. I get so emotional talking about this because I don't understand why Black women just don't click to this. Like, yeah, that shit is true. These motherfuckers are taking advantage of us. They all are. All of them. And I know Black women feel a need to have involvement and want to be down with talking and feeling like they're accepted by Black males and all these stupid motherfuckers with these podcasts and panels. But you're doing more harm than good to yourself, because there are other people in the world that watch you getting along and participating in your own degradation. And they look at you like, we already know he's stupid as the Black male, but what the fuck are you Black women doing? So now when things happen to you and now you're at the mercy of public opinion, they looking at you like, yeah, but we saw you on that dude's panel and you was agreeing to the bullshit he was talking about. So therefore, I don't think I got no sympathy for you. And when somebody white asked me the way they did in this country, all other people but Black people, if Black people deserve reparations, they said, no, they don't. They don't. They're not intelligent. They don't respect each other, don't respect themselves. They don't deserve anything. This is the effect that social media has on our lives when we don't take the shit we do on here seriously enough. I'm telling you, Black women. And when you slowly start to trickle out of the bullshit, that will be the only time the outsiders will begin to respect you, because regardless of what you think, people understand that the golden rule is, I can show you better than I can tell you. So when Black women start to go, oh, that's nice, but I ain't interested in that shit no more, and they slowly walk away from it, and those channels are left there talking shit with only other people until they get tired of it and they realize, hey, where the Black people go? Where the Black women go? They ain't here no more. They don't care about this shit no more. Oh, I'm out too. Until that happens, you're gonna get dogged. And no one is going to give a fuck about what happens to us when these black males blow our brains out. Or like here in my state with that black lady, I can't remember her name, but I'll never forget her story. She had those 6 beautiful little black girls, right? Where this man was beating this woman's ass every day. The only time she got a reprieve was when this bitch got arrested and was thrown into jail, right? He beat this woman inside her minivan, y'all remember, and stabbed her so many times through her body. He left the fucking knife protruding out of her fucking head in the front seat when the police showed up after the public called about a black man abusing a black woman in the street. Y'all don't remember that story? I will never forget it. I will also never forget another black woman who had been being beat on by this loser ass black dude she had children for, because you black women got to get over letting people shame you about you having more than one father for your children. Let me tell you something. They're trying to hold you to a religious level of morality that no other woman has to be held to. Do not accept that shit. The same way I don't accept the title of sis, don't accept that shit either. It is a natural occurrence for you to have more than one father for your child if you have more than one relationship. Look at me. I got more than one father for my children too, because I was married more than one time. And fuck the marriage, I had a significant other more than one time. And I got a child for that man too. Okay? So stop letting these people take away your humanity and your perceived femininity, because they can't never really take away your femininity, because it is your essence of who you are. And you are never masculine, because the Supreme Goddess Mother herself made you the exemplar of femininity. Whether you cuss all day the way I do, walk around with your finger like this, fighting or whatever, tattoos everywhere, half an ass cheek, walking down the street when you got your pants on, none of that shit takes away your femininity, because it is what you were born as. Femininity is the fact that you are a female with the ability to give life, that no man taketh away. Understand that? So I want y'all to stop being brainwashed with this collective consciousness of believing anything these black males on here say or any other males say about you decreasing in your value due to your behavior. Fuck them and every horse they rode in on. Hey, man. You understand me? I want y'all to stop that shit. That is why I want y'all to understand collective consciousness, collective hypnosis, and there's so many more psychological things that keep us downtrodden and accepting abuse and accepting people talking down to us and making us feel like we ain't shit when we are the shit. Okay? Because you got everybody trying to emulate you. So if you're going to get high on something, get high on the fact that every woman in the world wants to be you. You understand? Wants to be you and wants to possess everything you have naturally. So if a motherfucker can't accept that and respect that, then you let him go on his way and do not give two shits about where he ends up. I can't, y'all. I refuse to accept that for y'all. I refuse. All right, y'all. I gotta go. All right. But please, black women, do me a favor. I'm gonna put those links below. Give me a few minutes after I end the live. Follow up on those documentaries, everything from Angela Davis all the way to the interview with Umar and Aristotle. I want y'all to understand how and what black women stand for in this society and how the things affect us and how we're supposed to be out here beginning to navigate around them. So we have generations of black girls that don't have to suffer the way we did. I'm dead serious, y'all. Every day, right? When I think about my own life, I sit down, I think about, do I have my living will prepared in case one day I go outside and I never wake up again or I get killed crossing the street? I think about, did I leave enough money to my daughters? Did I think about my granddaughters enough? Maybe I should have said 19 instead of 18 for them to get their first payment. I don't know. Did I leave enough money for my son, the one with one child? Did I give him enough so that he could take care of his son? Who should I leave my card to? Who gets the property? Who gets this? Who gets that? Who gets the access to my bank account? These are things that Black women, all of us, should be out here thinking about every day, with ample amounts in those different things to shell out to everybody to prepare for when they're here no more, and to make your life worth more in death than it is while you're alive. Because that, my Black women, is a Black woman who has prepared to give her family generational wealth. I'm not kidding you. If you cannot work to make the money today, because that is not where you are currently, you are supposed to work towards what I'm talking about. So that when you are lowered into that ground, everybody that descends from you is saying, you know, that's fucked up. We're going to miss her. We loved her. But thank you, Ma. Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, whoever you call yourself, for leaving us this. So you have made life that much better for us. That's really what it's about, y'all. It's not about you getting a nut or worrying about being hugged up with some dirty nigga next to you, or worried about who thinks you're attractive and who doesn't, and you get to go on trips with a bitch nigga or not. No. It's about the monetary things you acquire in this life to leave to your family when you're not here. So that your life was actually worth something, and that your life actually impacts and continues to impact everybody related to you when you've been long fucking gone. And believe me, I know what I'm talking about, because I was fortunate enough to have people related to me do that for me. God bless my grandfather, who decided that he was going to be responsible for his son, his grandchildren, and his great-grandchildren. You can do the same thing, Black women. That is what I expect of you. I don't want you doing that for creators. I want you to do that for yourself. Please. You deserve that more than they do, because you are the ones putting in the work. All the people like me who come on here do is come on here and maybe show you a fucking clip or two, provide you some numbers off of some bullshit ass statistics that can easily be manipulated by white people, right? Or we talk about this, talk about that, give our opinion on this, don't support that. That's nothing in comparison to the work you do in building your own self. That's all I care about. When I go outside, New York City or wherever I'm at, I want to see Black women prospering. I want to see them loving themselves and loving each other, and not hate and bad mouthing and getting in the way of each other. I want us to do better where it really counts in our own individual lives, not fucking around on here and making one motherfucker's platform bigger than the other, because that don't affect or help none of us. How we work with each other in the real life, everyday neighborhoods, is what matters. And what we do with our own individual families to make sure nobody ends up in jail, nobody's a teenage mother, people don't take education seriously, they could graduate with honors or graduate to the highest of their ability, where we don't come on here talking about how he don't know how to read, he can't even do math. That's a thing in the past. That's what I want. All right? That's what I want. And I know you got it in you to do it. You just got to click the switch to change it and start working towards that way, where we not worrying about what the fuck anybody on here is talking about, colorism or ageism, or we don't give a fuck about that no more. That gets no fucking play here. Here we talking about economics and personal growth. And if you can't talk about that, then you don't need our time, and definitely not our fucking money. All right, y'all, I'm gonna say good night, okay? Have a good night. I'm going to see y'all soon. I wish all y'all well. I'm going to end this live and drop all the links below. Please watch those videos. I want y'all to see those interviews. I need y'all to see how these people think about us. All right? All right. Have a good night, everybody. Everybody, good night.